Uh, Hello, this is Beth talking today for our webinar. And what I'm talking about is about emotional eating. And I think this is an important topic, can be a sensitive topic, but I think it's something we need to address. So I'm going to cover with you 5 strategies that I think can help you with emotional eating. So let's go to that first one. Let's get to that first one. We got a little catch here. Oh, we're there. First one is slow down. This is a big one. There's a reason why I have it first, because I think it is a game changer. Oops, how am I getting there? It's a game changer. This, because it can affect so many things, just besides emotional eating. It can help you with chronic fatigue, mood, immunity, metabolism, digestive, weight loss, and the list goes on. We live in a society that is fast food, microwave society. You know, we can get anything in an instant. In some ways, that's kind of good, you know. If you want to text, you want to Skype somebody anywhere in the world, that's awesome. If you want to Google some quick information, that can be fantastic. But for our body and the way our body works and the way our digestion works, we want to slow down. And to help us understand this, I'm going to get just a bit techie and talk a little bit about your body. You have in your body something called your autonomic nervous system. And you can just remember it, called the rest and digest. And we're only going to talk about 2 little parts in this system. The first is called your sympathetic system, and it's your stress response. And when we go into this stress response, we're actually going to turn off digestion. But there's another one, and it's called your parasympathetic system, and it relaxes the body. And when we relax our body, we actually activate or turn on digestion, which is pretty dang cool. To help us understand this even a little bit more, I want to show you something. There's a book written by Mark David, and it's called The Slow Down Diet. And in this book, he shares about 25 reasons or so why stress and how it negatively affects the body. We're not going to spend a lot of time on all of these, but let's just take a look at a few. When we are in that stress response, we increase cortisol, we increase insulin resistance. When those are up, you're going to tend to see more of that little fat ring around the middle of your body. That's where it wants to store. You're going to see a decrease in your nutrient absorption. When you have a decrease in nutrients, you're not getting the nutrients you need. You have a deficiency in excretion. You're going to crave food. Your body needs those nutrients. Another one, you're going to see a decrease in kidney function. You know, just so many of these things. None of us want these. So we want to work on eating slow. Here's my suggestion to you. When you're eating breakfast, instead of 5 minutes, can you make it 10, 15? Get up a little bit early. Go to bed a little bit earlier. You know, maybe get your breakfast ready the night before. Do what you can to allow your body to slow down and eat a little bit slower. For lunch, can you get away from your office for a little bit? Can you make your lunch 15, 20 minutes? Get away from the computer. I want to just tell you, chew your food. Slow down. Take some deep breaths. When we have more oxygen into our body, we actually increase the fat metabolism, and we actually will increase digestion and metabolism. So slow down. So let's go right into that next one. Here's my next strategy for you. I want you to let go of perfectionism. We have a bit of an addiction in our Western culture, and I like to call it being perfect. We've got to get it just right. But here's the thing about perfectionism. And I had a therapist or a counselor help me with this. She was telling me that when we are trying to focus so much on perfectionism, especially with our bodies, that it leads to self-abuse. And it doesn't just sometimes lead to self-abuse, it always does, always. And I want you to hear that. We need to let go of this all or none thinking, good and bad, white and black. You know, I ate good, so I'm a good person. I ate bad, I'm a bad person. Good food, bad food, good, clothing size, bad clothing size, whatever it is. Let go of some of those thoughts. When you're looking to change your body, seeking to, eat that diet perfectly, being that perfect little dieter is one of the fastest ways to failure. we can get into what I call a cycle. And it's that diet, cheat cycle. And it'll just lead you to a nightmare, really, won't it? Here's, I just want to share this slide with you, but I can relate to this thinking. And that's part of the reason why I'm sharing this strategy is that as a personal trainer, I got caught in this thinking and I got a little help with it, got some counseling around it, but I was trying to be that perfect body and be that perfect person, because who would hire a personal trainer if she didn't have a perfect body? And so I got caught into this perfect thinking. And what I've learned is that perfectionism is not a friend. It robs us. It robs us of our humanity. It kind of makes us like a machine. So, let go of it. Don't get fixated on shallow goals. Don't get fixated on thinking small. Instead, I want you to focus on consistency, making small changes. Kind of learn to live in the middle. Be careful of the highs and then those crashing lows. I want you to watch out for thoughts, or whenever you see things where I call it extreme eating, extreme exercising, extreme habits or thoughts. And also, don't get focused on an ideal number of any kind, clothing size, weight, whatever it is. Because here's the thing about that. When we get caught in this one specific number, it might not be right, actually. You might actually need to slide a little bit one way or the other. And the other is it can be too rigid. When we get caught in one ideal number, sometimes it keeps us from really enjoying life. So I want you to join the club of being imperfect. Allow your life to be a little messy sometimes and forgive yourself. I think many of us can think of friends, family members that have passed away, maybe struggling with some serious illnesses. We know that life happens, and we also know that life is short and precious. So let go of perfectionism and learn just to be a little bit messy. Here's your next one. Number 3, I want you to look at, we're going to talk about toxic dietary beliefs. And what these are, there are thoughts, beliefs, assumptions that we've just either heard or come across, and we start to believe that they're true. And I want to help, and they can be kind of the core of who you are as an eater, and they can hold us back. Sometimes these dietary beliefs actually are where some of your problems are. So let's take a look at them. I'm just going to hit 3 of them, and they're 3 of the biggies. This first one I actually think we're getting away from, thank goodness. But, back in the 80s, many of us, when we were kind of growing up back then, fat and food made us fat. So we were into the fat-free craze, weren't we? If we were buying fat-free crackers and cookies or whatever, and thinking that was the royal road to thinness. And we now know that we need fat, essential fat, healthy fats. In fact, if I sucked all the fat out of your body, you would die in an instant. Your brain has to have it to function, let alone your nervous system, your hormones. We have that fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, and K, we have to have in order to function healthy. So focus on eating healthy fats that you see in like your olive oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds, avocados, those kinds of things. When we do that, salmon, when we do that, we're actually on the royal road to healthy bodies, fitness, and getting that lean body we're looking for. So if this is one you're struggling with, seek somebody, talk it out, and bust this one. Here's the next one. Food is the enemy. Sadly, I do see this one from time to time. And we get into these thoughts. I wish I could just not eat. When we're just struggling with how we feel with our body, I hear this. If I just didn't have to eat. If I eat and don't lose weight, I won't be loved. I need to eat less to control my appetite. But here's the thing. When we're thinking like this, we got some problems going on. First, food is pleasure, it's love. It's part of our society, it's social, but we also need food to live the life we want to live, to be healthy, to do the things that God's created us to do. And the other thing is that your body is wired. You are wired to survive. And when you start fighting some of the very things you need to live, you are fighting against your body. And your body is going to give you some powerful, powerful cravings because it's trying to survive. So when we're trying to live with this, when we're fighting food and we're making it the enemy, you're actually living in misery and suffering, and you're draining a ton of energy. So if this is an issue that you're struggling with, I really would seek that you find somebody to talk to, whether it be me, somebody else, and work on breaking this toxic belief, because this is a very unhealthy toxic belief, and it can cause you a lot of pain and suffering. This next one, if only I were thin, I would be happy. How many times have we thought this way, huh? When I get to this certain weight, then I can live life. When I get to this certain place, then it will be good, right? Well, when we do this, we're putting our happiness off. We're kind of living in the future. Our happiness depends on a certain weight, a certain number, a certain time in our life, and we miss the present. And it's not where you want to be. You want to live in your present. You want to live life now. What if you never get to that, whatever you think it is? Maybe you're not even supposed to get there. You're missing a lot of joy in life. And you want to get present. You want to do it now. And just look at learning to anchor yourself. So here's what I want to share with these. There's other toxic diets, but these are some of the big ones that I especially see people doing. I want to suggest to you that these dietary beliefs are as damaging to your body as junk food. They take a lot of personal power away from you. But the other thing that we're finding, and research is finding, is that these toxic dietary beliefs for a lot of are especially toxic to women. We tend to adopt these beliefs far more intensely and tend to live in a private hell over these. So women, if you're struggling with some of these, it tends to be something that we tend to struggle with more. So let's look at the next one, number 4. I kind of like this one. The wisdom of your body. And you'll see I have a picture of apps. But here's what I'm saying, is that a lot of times we can listen to experts and read books and Google research and get an app for this or that. And that's what we think we need. If we do what that expert says, or we read that newest book, or if your friend's starting the newest trend, it's working for her, and if you do that, then it will work for you as well. That then we're going to find that key to success. But what we often forget to do is to listen to one of our most important nutritional experts, and that's us, ourselves. Inside us, we have a very deep inner wisdom. And it speaks to us every day. It is powerful. In fact, I don't know how many of you know this, but you have a brain in your belly. I call it your gut brain, but really it's actually got a name. It's called your enteric nervous system. This nervous system has more nerve cells than your spinal cord. It sends messages to your brain every day. Here's the kind of cool thing, you're thinking, well, I don't know about this if I have this. Yeah, you do. When you ever get anxious or nervous, do you ever feel those butterflies in your stomach? Kind of that's your enteric nervous system. Or have you ever heard somebody say, deep down they'll go, I've got this gut feeling, or, I just know deep in my gut that I should not do this, or I should be doing this. That's your enteric nervous system talking to you. But here's the thing. When we begin to listen to what our body tells us, what the system is telling us, we begin to make some much wiser decisions. When you're feeling indigestion, bloating, gassy, any of those kinds of things, you got a headache, you feel irritable, those are signs that your body is giving you about what's working and what's not working. A good example, I like to say, have you ever eaten something and when you get done eating it, you're kind of like, oh man, I feel like I got a brick in my gut, or I feel like lead. Oh, I feel awful. That's your body telling you something. Maybe whatever you just ate, the combinations or whatever, your body is not exactly liking it. And have you ever eaten something when it goes the other way and you feel light and you're like, oh, I'm so ready to take on the day. I feel awesome. I can't wait to go do whatever it you go doing. And you just feel like $1,000,000. What did you eat? What did you just do? What is it that's making you feel that way? Your body is telling you that that's working for you. And whatever those foods are, whatever that habit pattern might be something you want to keep doing because your body is telling you you feel great. To help you with this inner wisdom, I want you to focus on that first habit, that first strategy I talked about. Focus on slowing down. Focus on getting present and listening. It's real. The brain in our belly will tell us which foods to eat and what amount are right for us individually. So let's move on to that next one. Number 5. It's the last strategy. This one I think is really important and one for you to think about. I want you to know that if you're struggling with emotional eating, cravings, binge eating, overeating, whatever it might be, that you're not alone. You are part of a collective. There are millions and millions of us struggling with this idea of emotional eating, this life of emotional eating. And I don't want you to feel embarrassed, ashamed, or feel guilty about it. There are millions of us fighting this battle. It's not unique to you. And let's just take a look at this because I think this will help you. I think we're actually struggling with a silent epidemic and it needs to be talked about more. In fact, here's this kind of interesting, I have this slide up, but in a study done a while back of 3 to 6-year-old little girls, they found out that about 50% of these little girls said they were worried about being fat, and 30% said they already wanted to change something specific about their body. And this is 3 to 6-year-old little girls, which I find very sad. But ladies, if you're listening to this, I don't think we have much to talk about, do we? Look at us. In another poll, 97% of women said they have at least one time in their day where they say, I hate my body. 97% say they hate their body one time every day. And on an average, over 90% of women are dissatisfied with their body. Ladies, that's almost all of us. So the next day you're walking in a room and you see a bunch of ladies, a bunch of women, girls, whatever, of all ages, just think over 90% of the women in that room are struggling with how they feel about their bodies and are struggling with what to do. I think it's sad. It breaks my heart. We have a silent epidemic. I want to suggest to you, we need to break down our fears. Fear is something we create. It prevents us from growing into our best selves. We need to break down the fear of failure, the fear of not doing good enough or being good enough. We need to break the fear of not being thin enough, the fear of not being ideal, the fear of not being loved for who we are. All these fears that we create are lies. I want to tell you to take a deep breath and live your truth. And I have this slide of these 2 trapeze artists. And I want to picture yourself as that woman. And that bar that she's let go of, that's the bar I want to suggest to you to let go of. And that bar represents thoughts, habits, toxic beliefs, perfectionism, whatever it is that has you stuck, has you in a place that you can't move on. I want to suggest that you let go of that bar, of those thoughts. Where she is right now is kind of scary, right? It's pretty unknown. Nothing's certain. She's not grabbing onto anything that's tangible. And it's scary. But where she's at is a place of change. And it's where life happens. It's where magic happens. Because when we let go of what has us stuck, we can reach for that other bar, that place we're supposed to go to, where the new habits, the place of being unstuck is. So let go of your old bar that you're stuck in and reach and go for it. Go for that new bar, those new habits that you know you want to create. There we go. God did not create a failure in you, did he? He created a masterpiece. God did not make you not good enough. You have always been and always will be a special individual with gifts and talents that he wants you to share and use. Remember, your body is beautiful. If there are things you need to work on for your health, then to begin to work on them, but do things that empower you and make you stronger. Okay? That's what I have to share with you today, those 5 strategies. The first one is to slow down. The second one is to let go of perfectionism. The third one is you want to get rid of those and break down and bust up those toxic dietary beliefs. The fourth one is to listen to the wisdom of your body, that enteric nervous system. And the fifth one is to it's called Pro Coach. It's with a company called Precision, and it's an online coaching program where we offer you do it through your computer, but what it is it's habit based, and you're working on one habit at a time versus like reading a book and trying to do everything at once. You focus on making some life sustainable habits. Bit by bit, it's a journey. I've been through it a couple of times. I know all about it. And if you would decide to do something like this, I would be your coach. I'm helping you right along with it. But it's pretty powerful. It allows you to focus and break down some things that maybe you're struggling with, but also to realize there's some habits, man, you're already got in your corner and you're going strong. So with this said, I want to just thank you all for listening in. If you have any questions, contact me. I'm available and I would love to help you. This is one of my passions, and I wish you all well. Thank you.